Hello, folks. We're on time for once. So tonight we're looking at Icehouse, examination of Icehouse, and from the South we have me, Louisiana Beer Reviews. We might have Jean H. Pierre. We have Bill from Florida. We have William Kepley from North Carolina. From the North, the old Midwest territory, Eric, a Lions fan.
What's going on, guys?
And from, we're just examining beer. And from New England, we have Thomas Meadow and guest starring Ryan.
Hey. He comes from us from the from that defunct Milwaukee's Best Ice. We tried to do that one time, but that's the last beer review we did with Ryan. Unfortunately, that didn't get to be aired.
What happened with that? Oh, that was what, okay.
It was with BM Troy.
That was Icehouse Edge.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, oh, go figure. He's back for an Icehouse beer. We'll see if it comes back.
I remember we redid the video later.
Yep.
But anyway, all right, so tonight, the new, is it improved? Well, it just came out on the market in January, I guess, 2017. There are still 5.5% original versions on the market. Like Mathern still has the 5.5, but Winn-Dixie right over there, I can maybe see that store from here, is the 6.9, and Bill's going to do both. Bill in Florida is going to do both versions. Can you hold that label up there again, Eric, a Lions fan?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. And then on the others, can you turn it? Oh, I see. It's got the kind of the old Icehouse. Oh, there's Jean H. Pierre, the Beer and TV and Wine Ramble.
Ice brewed for a bolder taste. Bolder.
Yeah. I actually found a 6.9% version, so I guess some stores in my area are finally carrying it.
You did what now?
I said I finally found a 6.9 version in Massachusetts, so I think now stores are finally carrying the new beer.
Oh yeah, I mean it's fully in play now. All right.
Yep.
Have you had any trouble finding it up there in North Carolina?
No, I was one of the first ones I think that got it.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I did a written review about a month ago on Beer Advocate, so I've had it for a pretty good while.
About the same time for me. Good evening, gentlemen. Since probably about a month, and then of course you all probably saw my review of it too.
Yes, and Jean-Pierre is joining us from Mobile. Let's see. Bradley says running behind, but I'm coming. Bradley, okay. I'm going to show you the original Icehouse bottle.
Yeah, my can says, I think it says, trying to speed in some light here. I think it says July of 2017. Good until.
Yeah, mine's June 20. June
12th.
That must mean it's really, really fresh versions that we got.
Yeah,
brand new 6.9.
26 on mine. All right,
yeah.
Let me try to set up now. Thomas Meadow, I added you as a moderator for checking comments, so you'll be able to do that if you want to do it.
Okay, we'll see.
I was going to say, is my volume too high? I just lowered my volume.
So good fine to me.
Eric's going to monitor it for that problem, and then you can also look at the comments as soon as I can get that going. Well, here's the original Icehouse bottle, the little stubby neck bottles they used to have in the 90s. It used to have, well, Icehouse on it, and it showed the old Plank Road Brewery. You can go inside that brewery today in the caves and all, but I guess it's probably mostly reconstructed. I doubt the original 1855 building's still there, but at least they try to make it look authentic over there in that little valley area of Milwaukee. Milwaukee's sort of hilly. Over there by the brewery, there's sort of some ravines by a river. And then you can go down the street and around the corner by the river, and then you can park, go underneath the interstate, and you can park at Miller Park, the Milwaukee Brewers Park. Okay, come on. I'm trying to get this thing to work. It's not trying to work. I think I heard somebody saying the other day they were having trouble with getting the comments to work. So let's try to refresh that page and see. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to panic. But it is nice. It is nice to hear what the people have to say. Well, I poured it, and look at all these beautiful ascending bubbles. It's golden, deep golden. It's clear, of course. There's not much head on it. Not a real shock, I guess.
William, did you get this beer in your area?
Yes. I'm going to grab it right now.
He was one of the first, he was one of the first ones to get it.
The 6.9.
Right.
William, January, right?
About January, I got ours here in January. We received our beer.
Yeah,
About the beginning of the first of the year.
It was $1.15 for the can. That's it.
$1.11 for a 16-ounce can. I bought 2, and it's Circle K.
And Jean-Pierre did the first video review for this beer in the world.
$1.19 for a 25-ouncer.
Pretty good, Eric.
My date is June the 19th. Mine was brewed on a Thursday, Albany, Georgia, at 9:29 a.m. That's the birth certificate.
July 10th, 2017. Born on date E07061821.
Yours is also Albany, Georgia.
Yeah. So
Mine is B04.
That's Fort Worth.
Yeah, most of our stuff coming in from Fort Worth.
Looks like mine's a C.
C is Wednesday.
Okay, then it's 08
That's Trenton, Ohio.
01090.
01 will be the production line, and the last will be the time. That sounds like about 9 a.m. in the morning for yours.
So
Okay. If people are trying to make comments, you just have to be patient because things are going kind of slow. Now we have Bradley joining from Arkansas.
hey, Brad, how you doing?
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey, Bradley.
Brad?
Strong.
What's your daddy's name again?
Marvin.
Martin. Tell him to join. Tell him to join. Tell him to join. Okay.
The more the merrier, brother.
Now my bottle. Okay, y'all want to hear about this 12-ounce bottle? Mine was $7.99 for the 12-pack of the glass 12-ounce bottles. That's pretty much what we get around here. We get a few stores I saw had the 4-packs of the 16-ounce pint can, the pint cans. But most of the stores here have your 12-packs of your 12-ounce bottles.
All I'm going to say, be careful if you buy it.
$7.99.
Be careful when you drink it.
Hold on.
Did it take your places, John?
Yeah, I mean, it's for 6.9%. I'm sure we'll get into it tonight, but buying the 12-pack, I say beware. It's not your old Icehouse. Put it that way.
So I don't know if everybody heard me. I said $7.99 for the 12-pack.
Oh, that's good.
Pretty damn good.
Ridiculous. Yeah, that's cheap. Super good.
So we're gonna do the South first because there's a lot of Southern people here. We don't want them to get their feelings hurt. I'm just kidding. So Jean, since you did the first video review for this beer in the world, you have the right to do it tonight. So I guess everybody can see it looks pretty much the same. Y'all are getting that kind of deep gold with the bubbles, the clear, the little, not much head on it, I guess.
Yeah, just a little, not much.
More of a foam than it is really a head on a typical.
If you want to see a head, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
There you go, William. Exactly.
This is my Irish mug that I got at Dollar Tree for $1.
Wow.
Irish, it's pretty nice.
Thought about breaking out the A&W glass for this one, but
I just have this, I don't know what you call this type of glass, but I bought it for 10 cents or 25 cents at a garage sale. I always get these exotic glasses at that girl's garage sale that she perpetually has. Yeah, I should say a yard sale because it's not in her garage. But well, actually, part of it is in her garage, but mostly it's in her yard, which she's ruining her grass with this incessant. But my neighbors were complaining, don't you have to have a license if you're going to have that? I said, I think so, but I've been getting all these nice glasses, so I haven't said anything.
Tag sale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get rid of all the junk, you know, get rid of all that junk, which is what my mom needs to be doing.
Excuse me.
yeah, you don't want to. I'm going to try to get these online comments going, but it looks like it's going to be a real. All right.
Yep.
Anyway, so Sean, you give us the aroma, and then I'll go next, and then Bill, and then William, and then so on and so on, and Bradley and all that gang.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that it does. Getting aroma of your most lagers, a lot of corn, a lot of barley, but more corn syrup in this beer than anything. I guess because of the alcohol they put into this. You know, it's a kind of balance between. I guess we'll discuss it later, but I'll say it right now. So a cross between a lager and a malt liquor, and it's kind of in between.
Kind of like,
If that makes any sense. So
yeah, it's a little Mickey smell to it,
kind of like that, yeah.
but Mickey's is no way near as strong as this.
No,
I'll tell you
that's kind of my view of it.
my impressions. I've been drinking on this 12-pack, honestly, but oh, by the way, the beer is certified kosher, and in case you need to know that, and it's the calories are 192. So this is, if you're trying to get fat, this is the beer for you. If you're trying to lose weight, this is not the beer for you. Okay, I'm gonna go fast. We'll try to go fast because we got so many people. I'm getting a little biscuit. I'm getting some yeast, and I'm getting like yeasty bread, almost like sourdough bread. I'm getting honey, a little honey.
Yeah.
It smells really nice, and it's kind of clean, so I got no complaints. So go over to Bill now.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm picking up the sweetness. Real kind of a crispy, I don't want to say citrusy, but just like a clean, nice, clean, beery kind of aroma, but not, you know, nothing off for sure.
Yeah. Not super aromatic, but not anything nasty or gross.
It's carbonated, I will say that.
Oh yeah.
You can see those streaming bubbles.
You know, in the glass I poured it in, I got absolutely no head at all.
No, I didn't get much. Hey, how about you, William Kepley?
This is the Miller lacing here,
Yeah.
which you usually get with their products, and the retention of the head. This one is pretty much ice cold, so the taste wise, it's somewhat muted. You're not getting that as much of a punch of alcohol. Actually, it's quite refreshing. Just a little bit above what you would get with an AAL, but I find this very refreshing. Now, as it warms a little bit, it'll take on a little different character, a little more sweet, a little more malty. But as is, I find this very smooth for 6.9% alcohol.
Yeah. Bradley?
You know, I wouldn't have I was sitting over here smelling of this, and I wouldn't have thought of honey until you mentioned it, but I pick up that honey.
Me too.
And I pick up a lot of malt on it.
Yeah.
I actually don't smell a lot of alcohol for it being 6.9.
No. How about you, Eric, and then Eric?
Well, what I'm getting is that stereotypical kind of an ice beer sweetness in the aroma. I mean, it doesn't smell like, you know, just pure, you know, opening up a bag of sugar and smelling that. But it does have a fairly sweet smell, fairly grainy, fairly husky smell. I could also be getting a slight bit, a slight bit of a lemony kind of a note to it. But again, those things aren't really uncharacteristic of an American style lager. I just find that this one, as it being an ice beer and it being 6.9%, I just find that the sweetness is definitely showing can definitely tell that it's either a malt liquor or a ice beer just by the sweetness alone. But again, none of that's really off-putting. It just smells like a decently made American style lager to me. What do you think there, Ryan?
I think the analysis that John made about the cross between malt beverage,
A malt liquor and the lager,
and the lager makes a lot of sense. And
Yep.
my taste buds are a little off right now, so I can't really
comment on that yet.
comment. Yeah.
But all right, that's what we got.
More or less on this one that I've got. I mean, I'm picking up what all you guys are. The maltiness. I'm picking up sweetness. There's no alcohol presence that I can smell on the aroma. I mean, it's like all you guys said. It's a very well made 6.9%.
Okay. Oh, and one more thing. I'm not gonna keep talking about this. We just can't. I cannot get the comments to open up.
Okay.
If people are trying to tell us something, I'm sorry. We're not trying to ignore you. It just won't open. Okay. And I heard somebody saying that yesterday when I was watching a hangout, and I was saying, "Uh-oh, it's like a dead thing. It won't open." So, I mean, when I did a video a few days ago, it just popped right up, and people were able to. That was Sunday when we did that Sunday. That was only 3 days ago, and it worked fine. But I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, you can still make comments after the video is posted, and I'll answer them. I always answer comments. I wanted to make a video. I was thinking about this today before we came on air. Before I talked to you, I was like, I ought to make a video where I rant and rave about video reviewers who do not respond to comments. Because I was looking at all these Hop Slam videos. It took me like 100. It was like over 100 videos. And the Scotty, this evil twin, the Scotty break. And then I was like, man, there are so many beer reviewers that do not answer comments. All these people are saying, oh, blah, blah, blah about the beer. And they're just like, you know, buzz off. This is my channel. I don't want to answer your comments, but you better watch my channel and subscribe. I'm like, what is all of this about? I thought it was supposed to be a big, well, anyway, I think people got different agendas. I always started my videos just to be able to hang out and talk to people about beer, but it just bothers me to no end that some people just do not answer comments. It just irks me. All right. That's just the beginning of it. I'm going to really I think I might make a video where I just go off on that. All right. Yeah, I'm calling you out. All right. Maybe y'all don't feel the same way, but it just bugs me to death. Actually, that's how I got to meet most of y'all, by answering comments, I think.
I would agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the most important part, the taste test. Back to Jean-Pierre. The beer.
Cheers, everybody.
Ramble, and maybe wine ramble one day. Oh, Eric Brennan. Eric Brennan.
Yeah, Ron, go ahead.
You already talked about the aroma.
Yeah, for me, when I taste it, I'm getting that, I call it beer concentrate, where it seems like for the ice brewed process, it seems like it's concentrated and then they add water back to it. I guess that's how they do it. I'm getting that.
No, they don't add water back to it.
They don't? Okay. Well, I'm getting that beer concentrate, and I'm picking up a little bit of the alcohol. I think I like the 5.5 better than the 6.9. I think it's better balanced. I've had that many, many times. I'm getting some metallic notes coming from this can here, but I mean, it's a good beer. I mean, I'm not trying to knock it for being the higher alcohol content. It's just, I just prefer the 5.5 to the 6.9.
Yeah, me too. What do you think, Jean-Pierre, about the taste? I saw your video. I watched it. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's going down pretty smooth. I mean, it's very refreshing. As everyone says, we all know, once these things warm up to a certain temperature, you know, more of the booze will come out of it. You know, it is an ice beer, you know, so it's one of those things that you have to consume, I would say not rapidly, but somewhat. And, uh-oh, one second. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay.
On the comments, you can see comments. I don't see any dang comments.
Yeah, I got the browser up here, Ron.
Yeah, where you have it and it is something that not consume immediately, but consume it somewhat relatively quickly, because once it warms up and all the alcohol and whatnot comes out of it, then it becomes becomes all right. Then you'll start to feel the effects of it. So it is, like I said, a decent lager.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go real fast and tell you about what I think. At the top of the hour, I'll get Eric to read the comments. Okay. I just couldn't get mine to open up. I don't know what the heck's going on. All right. It's got a little alcohol thing in the background, but it's not too bad. But it's there. And then it's got kind of some bitterness at the end of the sip in the back of your mouth. That's got to be coming from the hop extract. It's probably what they're using, hop extract. It should say on the website. The body's kind of heavy. It's on the high, medium side. It's kind of sweet, like sweet bread crust. A little biscuit, a little bread yeast, a little sourdough. I'm not really picking up so much, really at all, honey in the taste. It tastes really good. My only complaint about this beer, it's too heavy. It's got too many calories. The alcohol is too high. It's just too heavy. I like the taste. I don't have any issue with the taste. And I have viewers that watch, and they're always saying, "Give me more alcohol. Give me more alcohol." I like that. Well, if that's what you like, then this is going to appeal to you. The 5.5 is usually around as high as I like to go. 5.9 is fine. Like with natural ice, 5.9 is right in my wheelhouse. Once you get from 5.9 to 6, and I think William and I talked about this, that's sort of a tipping point. 5.9 to 6, it does make a difference. And more often than not, it tips in a way that I don't like it to tip. But anyway, that's just my opinion. We'll go about would you buy it again later. But over to Bradley and then to Bill McIntyre.
The first thing that I noticed, of course, I bought these in a 4-pack this past weekend, and I had to try one when I got home. I was very impressed with the body on it. If you guys watch any of my videos, you know that I look for that. So I love the body on this beer. I think it's slightly sweet. I get hoppy notes on my tongue. I barely get any alcohol really for me, and I'm usually not a fan of ice beers. I usually pass them up even if you offer them to me. So I'm very impressed with this beer. I think it's good. I don't know that it's better than the 5.5, but I don't know that it's worse either. I think I could take either one of them.
Yeah.
From my perspective.
And do y'all prefer the can or the bottle, or is that irrelevant?
Doesn't matter to me one bit.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me either.
Me either.
Okay. Bill, down in Tampa. Excuse me.
Yeah. I have them both.
Okay. He's going to give us a little rundown real quick.
0.9 and the 5.5. And as far as the 6.9 goes, really well done, in my opinion. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if in this weight class it was, one of the best in class. Certainly of the 6.9s that we've done, my favorite for sure. I see a little bit of or taste a little bit of that. The only difference I can discern between these two is just that little bit of alcohol-y, just a slight alcohol-y, increase in alcohol note on the front end. Other than that, I would say that this is a dead heat with the 5.5. I'm with you guys. I happen to like the 5.5 better because I'm not necessarily a fan of just because it's more alcohol. It's a better beer type deal. As a matter of fact, I mean, if I'm comparing both of these, I'm going to go with the 5.5 as well every single time. But that's not to say that this new 6.9 isn't really well done. Super tasty.
What is the calorie count, if you don't mind reading off of that? What's the calorie on that 5.5?
153 on the 12-ounce serving.
Oh yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot better.
Yeah, the 6.9 substantially more.
Yeah.
Not really that surprising, but it is more.
Yeah, it's more.
Did you say 153, Bill?
Yeah, 153. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what he
But
said.
yeah, I mean, I'm with all of you guys. Really well done. This is a good beer. Bottom line, just happens to be for my particular taste. Against the 5.5, just a little too much alcohol for me. That's all.
Sure.
Okay. That's I think that's what we're coming toward. William, and then okay, we did Jean. Wait, Jean, did you tell us about the flavor?
I told you about the flavor. Yeah, it was like I said, it was very goes down easy. Very like I said, once the booze gets warm, it begins to you feel the effects of it. But it's a good lager. Drink it quickly, not quickly, but drink it somewhat immediately because it's better cold than warm.
This has been a PSA by John Pierre.
In other words, what you're trying to say is don't tarry.
Exactly.
Sure, right. Okay.
Okay, William.
I think I would prefer this over the 5.5.
Whoa.
I think for 6.9 it's quite smooth. Conversely, with the Milwaukee's Best Ice, I would prefer the 5.9 over the 6.9.
I would
think
too.
what we've had the last 2 weeks is Beauty and the Beast. Last week was the Beast. This is a much smoother. I think the consensus is a much smoother 6.9 delivery for the beer.
Yeah.
I would take this one over the Icehouse, but conversely, like I said, I would take the lower alcohol for the Milwaukee's Best Ice. I think they've hit a nice sweet spot with the smoothness for the 6.9 on this one. So I think the execution of this is very good.
Now, William, I want to say something real fast. Some people will claim that, oh, they just take the same beer and put it in 2 different cans, but I don't believe that with these two.
No, but I think the Icehouse definitely is a smoother 6.9 version than the Milwaukee's Best Ice. You know, sometimes it gets into a case of semantics. One person's smooth is another person's jarring or harsh. It depends on whatever perspective you're coming from drinking beer. But I think overall that they did a nice job with this.
It's interesting you bring that up, William, because one of the commenters asked that.
It's sort of like the Carpenters. Some people say it's smooth, but other people say it's cloying. Talking about the music, Carpenters.
What would be interesting is see if a person like drinks the 8.2 versions or whatever, you start getting the upper echelon of malt liquors. Would they come down to this and enjoy it more than someone at a 5.5 come up to a 6.9? Is this in a no man's land, or is it going to find a market? I guess that's the key question for MillerCoors when they decided to bump these ABVs up on these beers. And I guess the jury is still out on that.
I can't argue with that.
That's a good point. Very good point.
What about you and Ryan, Eric Frauenfelder? Thomas.
Yes, you have pronounced the last name correctly. Most people do not.
I know how to pronounce things right.
Go Patriots! Yeah, woo! We had the rally yesterday. Anyways, enough of that. This
You
beer.
got the jersey?
No, just a hat. But anyways, I mean, this would probably go down way too quick in anger of the first and second quarter with the Patriots. But besides the Super Bowl, this beer here to me, I say it when I drink these ice beers and when I've been involved in some of these ice beer reviews that to me I can tell that it's an ice beer or that it's a malt liquor. I can tell it's one of those two. It has that sweeter component to it that you just know is more of that imperial kind of American style lager, if that's a better term to use here. It definitely has, again, those sweet notes. There's a little bit of I'm getting even a little bit of a gritty kind of a texture from it, but as I'm getting that gritty texture, which is kind of hard to explain, but I know some of you guys have had beers that kind of have that flavor component to it. It is pretty well carbonated. It does have a nice crisp effervescence to it. I would say it's a straight up medium bodied beer for me. It's pretty clean, crisp, and refreshing. It is a dry finishing beer for how sweet it is, which is nice. It does have the corn notes. It does have the grainy, papery notes to it. It's not off-putting in the 6.9%. I can personally tell that it's got a little bit more alcohol in it. just that grittiness for me and some of that sweeter, some of those sweeter notes don't make it for me the kind of an ice beer that I would normally gravitate towards. Although this beer is by far to me better than a lot of malt liquors that I've had in the past. But I think for me, beers like Molson Ice and Bud Ice are way more in my wheelhouse. They're more of the traditional kind of a beer drinking experience. I mean, I think Jay could talk more at length about this little subject here, but you kind of have to wonder about the marketing ploy as to why they needed to go from 5.5 or 9 to 6.9, and if this is what the people in the market want in a beer these days, and they want a beer in the state of Massachusetts, in my town of Mansfield, Massachusetts, that's $1.15. It's a pretty fantastic way to go without having some nasty beer that's not really that well put together, because this isn't that disgusting, and it does feel like it's, to me, well put together for the kind of a beer that Miller wants to achieve. So I'm liking it as far as that standpoint is concerned. I'm curious what Ryan has to say about it.
Yeah, it's
Doing some research on the can there, I see.
yeah, I'm looking at the can here. I would agree with what you said, Eric. It's not bad compared to some of the more malt
forward type lagers.
Okay, yeah. It's I guess it's pretty good, and I'm drinking it. I'm not tallying here. I'm drinking it.
Good.
I think it definitely tastes better.
Yeah, if you want to drink something that's really going to knock you on your keister.
Earthquake.
Oh, I mean something that's credible. I'm not talking about street garbage. I'm talking about something that's like,
camo, baby.
no. Let me say what I was going to say. If you want to drink something that's going to knock you out, but that has quality, you could drink Schlitz Ice Malt Liquor IML. You could drink Schlitz VSL. You could drink Colt 45 High Gravity. You could drink Hurricane High Gravity 8.1, or even if you have a lot of nerve and gall and guts, you could drink Steel Reserve 211, 8%, or Icehouse Edge. But those are just off the chain as far as harsh, and I don't mean in a bad way. They're just, and
they're more bold and flavored.
I always preface this with, look, it's not the beer, it's me. People might say I'm weak, and I'll be the first to admit it. Okay, I mean, those are just too much. I went to that hotel and all right, anyway, but
whoa.
Let's get off of that. All right, but
I want to hear the finish of that story.
He had to go to the Super Bowl after that. Uh-oh.
Well, we were running out of time. Hey, but anyway, but those are just too crazy, little too cray-cray. But this one here, hey, but that was a true story. But anyway, this one here, it's not as, but it's not as like brutal. You know what I mean? It's strong, but it's not a take no prisoners. So you can kind of deal with it. Now, if you drink 2 of them, you're gonna have a problem. And what's that story I told when I did my review? The assistant manager at Winn-Dixie drank. He listened. Now this really is a true story, and I'll tell it because it doesn't involve me.
All right.
He said that I'm talking about the area salesman for Miller. He said, "Oh yeah, man." He got that country way of talking. Man, I'll let this assistant manager know he's a Miller Lite guy. And I thought, uh-oh. He said, I told him we got a new Icehouse and it's 6.9. He said, man, that guy said, I'll buy it and I'll try it. He bought a 12-pack. He said he went home and he drank 8 of them.
Whoa.
Good.
He was on the floor.
So he woke up the next morning and he felt really bad, and he realized that he had washed his entire truck and didn't remember doing it.
Let me tell you what I learned from this story. They will throw you under the bus before he tells anything about himself.
Uh-oh.
No, I mean, my story was relatively boring, and it did not involve this particular beer, so I didn't tell it.
That's funny.
But
I will say this: I'm working on my second one since I joined you guys, and I can feel the. I can feel it. The more I drink of it, the more I can feel it.
Me too, Brad. Me too. I'm almost done with my first one.
So we're about to read the comments, and I'm sorry I couldn't read them myself. I don't know what the heck's going on. But the moral of the story is, if you drink 8 Icehouse beers, the new Icehouse, if you drink 8 of the new Icehouse beers, you will wake up and realize you washed your truck with great attention to detail, I might add. But you will not remember doing it. And to me, that's a lesson that you need to be careful what you're doing, because we can laugh about it, but that could be a really serious problem. All right.
You know what?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm gonna say I want if I think Eric said he could read the comments. So what do you have?
Eric Lyons fan.
Read all the appropriate comments, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do. AJ Looster says that hey, Ronald, I'm enjoying a nice cold Icehouse right now.
Cheers.
Hey, man, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.
Quantical says the new Icehouse is inferior to the old one. They lost a loyal customer.
Oh, man, that's bad.
Might be some truth to that.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's too bad for Miller. Okay.
Bart Robinson says, hey, my friends, I just grabbed a 12-pack of this afternoon and enjoying one now.
Don't drink it, but if you do, your truck is going to look beautiful tomorrow morning.
Daryl East says, I had a tall boy of this earlier in the week. It was okay, but it was really boozy. I'd rather have a Colt 45. I'm having some Genesee Cream Ale right now. Cheers, y'all.
Yeah.
I would rather drink Colt 45 and Genesee Cream Ale. Okay, go on.
There's a store, and Dan Emmons says there's a store near me that has Goose Island and Shock Top for $2.99 a 6-pack.
Hey,
$2.99.
That's good.
You better pick it up and pick all of it up.
Must be
and check the born on date of that beer. Make sure it may be from last year
or 2010. Okay.
Yeah.
Xlig, I believe it's XLLG says, Ron, are you from Louisiana?
Well, that is true. That's why I called it Louisiana Beer Reviews. Yes.
Thomas Horsley says, how are you, Jay?
I'm fine. Thank you, Thomas.
Dan Emmons comes back and he says, I had some of these ice houses a few days back and it gave him a headache.
Uh-oh. How many did you drink?
The old beer headache. Sorry. Okay.
And William touched on this earlier, but Luke Stokes says, do you like the new Milwaukee's Best Ice better?
No.
No, I agree.
I can't get it here, so I haven't tried it. So
what beer can you get in Mobile, Alabama?
I can get Icehouse. I can get Milwaukee's Best Lager. You're talking about the macros?
Yeah. And I mean, any beer. It sounds like
really.
I mean, I can get some craft beers. I get Founders. I could get KBS. I can get some of that stuff. But it's and fortunately, some of the prices are about a little high. At singles, I can get them reasonably priced, like $1.99 for this, or maybe $4.99, $7.99, $10.99, Chimay, all these different beers. So
right,
we get some craft beers. But in terms of, say that again.
And to be honest, you could take that 1-hour drive to Pensacola and go to ABC Liquor, and then you're in a whole different ball game, a whole different ballpark.
Right, I can do that. And like I said, we got some, like you said, the Publix, the Rouses, the Cottage Hill Package Store, Old Shell Growlers. Well, Cottage Hill Package and Old Shell Growlers are more of the more specialty stores, but like the Publix, Rouses, Winn-Dixie's, they have craft beers, and you can get some of the singles of different beers that I've mentioned, the Founders, the KBS, and whatnot.
And you got Greer's.
Yeah, Greer's definitely. But in terms of the macros, I can get, all of them, the Buds, whatever, but I can get Milwaukee's Best Lager, but I can't get Milwaukee's Best Ice. Some of the other ice beers I get: Keystone Ice, Natty Ice. Let's see what else. Bud Ice, as I mentioned. You know, just about anything. You know.
All right. Now, can I ask a question real fast?
Go for it.
And then we're going to talk about would we buy it again. All right. This Saturday, I have this big college basketball doubleheader thing I'm planning to go to. All right. Okay, I'm going to go, I think. But that'll mean I'm not going to drink any beer the whole rest of the afternoon, like from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon until the rest of the night. I'm not going to drink any beer. So that puts me in an okay position on my quota, because y'all know I'm pretty strict about drinking no more than 22 to 24 beers per week, right? We know this. Okay. So the question is, should I drink one more beer tonight? I've already drank two. I drank, wait now. Wait now. When I came home from work, I drank a glass full. I filled it to the brim, nearly the brim, with the Gallo Burgundy. That's 12%. I drank it slow. I watched the news. I remember what the news was about. Okay. Now, and I'm speaking very seriously at this point. And then I drank the Icehouse, and everything was fine. So I don't know. I'm trying to decide, should I drink that last little pushing the envelope beer? I don't know.
Wait till tomorrow, Friday.
Why not? Why not, Ron?
Yeah, why not?
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
And there is a breeze coming through this window, so I'm going to get my beer. Keep on talking now.
All right.
Ron, before you go, does a bear shit in the woods?
I'm not a zoologist. Hey,
I was going to say we're not promised tomorrow, so why put off what you can do today?
Oh.
Well, sometimes it's best to do that. Hey, well, I want you to go around the horn, and Eric, Farnfelter, Thomas Mendel, you can determine who's going to talk next, and let each person tell if they would buy the beer again. My answer is yes, I would buy it again, but I wouldn't buy it too often. But honestly, I had to admit, when I did my video, I had not bought Icehouse too frequently in the last 10 years. It used to be $3.99 a 6-pack, and then after Katrina, it went up a lot, so I just didn't buy. Okay, so Eric, you run it.
Unfortunately. All right, we'll start with my partner in crime here, Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan, would you buy Icehouse 6.9 version for $1.15?
Yeah.
In our town, would you buy it again?
Yeah, I would buy it again if we were doing the Super Bowl over again.
All right.
I would buy one of these to supplement.
Okay.
Whatever else I was drinking that night.
Yeah, I would probably, for $1.15, it's a pretty good price for the beer that you're getting. I think as a beer overall, I probably wouldn't buy it again. If this is the kind of a tall boy 24-ounce can that I'm looking for in this style with this 6.9%, I have no problem drinking that one ever again for sure, especially since it's $1.15.
What if you could get it? What if you could get it for $7.99 a 12-pack?
I would probably do that once and see what my reaction is throughout the 12-pack, because I think definitely, I don't remember who said it, but I think if you drink like a 6-pack or a 12-pack and you're thinking about the beers, as you've had 2 or 3 or 4 of them over the course of that 12-pack, you're going to start to get a good perception of what you really think of the beer. So this could be your initial reaction now, but you may need to do a J. Terrio revisit to really formulate your real honest opinion later on.
I agree with that. Okay, Eric, you still pick who's going to talk next.
All right, I'm going to pick Mr. Bill. Would you buy this beer again, Bill?
Hey, that's a tough one. I'm very conflicted here. It's a good beer, but it's a little too high on the alcohol for me to just like be swinging through the grocery store and say, "Oh yeah, this is good. I'm gonna grab some." I'm a big fan of the 5.5. I really like that beer. It's one of my go-to beers.
Me too, Bill. Me too.
I don't know who decided that picking this up was a really good idea, but it just kind of puts it a little bit at arm's length for me.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Eric, a Lions fan, what's your thoughts and opinions? Would you get this again?
Well, like I preluded earlier, I think the 5.5 is better than the 6.9, a lot like what Bill said. Would I pick it up again? Maybe once in a blue moon I might. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Brad, what's your thoughts? Would you pick this up again?
I'm going to go with yes, and I'll tell you why. Normally, I would say no. If I was going to sit down and spend an afternoon drinking, no, because the alcohol content's too high. But if I want to have a couple beers to relax, because I don't have a problem getting a little bit of a buzz, yes, I would go back to this again because it tastes fine and it does what I'm looking for if I just want a couple beers to relax. So, yeah, I'd buy it again.
And what is the general consensus? Would you buy the 6.9 or would you buy the 5.9% version there, William?
I would probably buy this one and work it into rotation amongst my other AALs, which I drink more of than this. To me, this would be a change of pace beer, but very, very high drinkability for 6.9. I can see working in this to my regular rotation. And still the lacing is hanging around. This is like Michelangelo lacing. It's beautiful. Yeah, no words necessary for that. But yeah, I would buy it again, definitely.
Yeah.
Excellent. And
My daughter joined us.
yeah.
Hey, cutie pie. Hey. All right.
Who are we missing? I think we got to everybody that we needed.
I can get this from time to time, but my percentage would be like maybe 40%. I guess because of the booze that add on to it.
I think we got to everybody we needed to in that one. So
wait. Sean's talking.
Okay.
Oh.
I say I think the 4.8, what Miller did with the 4.8 with Milwaukee's Best, I think was just a brilliant move. Obviously, it's done very well. Just looking at how it goes off the shelves at some of the stores that I go to. With this and even the Milwaukee's Best Lager Ice, I haven't tried that yet. The new one, this could be a hit and miss. But so far, some people like it, some people don't. Me, I'm kind of on the fence. I would say I can get it maybe 40% of the time. I'll, just a little something just if I want to, go home and crash and just, want to get ripped at home. But this would not be an everyday thing for me.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's the general feeling, is that it wouldn't be an everyday drinker, but it'd be something you might check out every now and then just to get a little memory of it, but then there's other people we know, they want to drink this all the time. I had people that'll comment on my videos and be like, oh, I drank 6 of them tonight. I was really loaded. And I'm like, I could tell because you made like 12 incoherent comments in a row on my video. When they get drunk, they start making like endless comments, and they're like going into like politics and talking about Hungary and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I could tell. Hey, here's the craft beer, and it's from Shreveport, Louisiana, and it's called Reasonably Corrupt, and it's a black lager. And I
love that label. Love the can design.
Yeah, it's like an old 1901 thing, and it's 5.5% alcohol, 30 IBUs. It's a black lager. You'll see how black it is when I pour it. This 6-pack was given to me by my friend David over there in Jefferson Parish. You might have seen some video reviews we did in his house with his unidentified female friend who didn't want to be on the video, but she made comments the entire video. But this is a beauty of a beer, but it's a craft beer, so it's going to be a lot more expensive per 6-pack. It's going to cost me more per 6-pack for this than that 12-pack of Icehouse.
And they're based in Louisiana, right?
Shreveport.
Okay. Yeah, my sister-in-law lives in Shreveport.
The home of the Independence Bowl since 1976, and they had a pro football team for about a year and a half.
The Shreveport Streamers, right? Am I correct? The Shreveport Streamers.
The
Steamers, right? Right. Larry King, I think, was doing play-by-play for their games at one time.
I seem to have done the unspeakable thing, and it was entirely by accident.
That's when he was going through his financial difficulties when he left Miami.
So I cannot hear him or see him. I don't know how I did that, but I'm sorry that I did that.
But he came back,
What Eric did, I'll tell you what happened. Eric, you were trying to mute Jean.
Yes, I
There
was.
was something going on, but you actually blocked Jean.
I see that.
I blocked him from just the video.
Yeah, so Eric and Jean are no longer friends.
You asshole, Eric.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look up how to not do that anymore.
But YouTube asked me, do you want to also block Jean? And I was like, no.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant to do. I wanted to just mute him for a second. I'm
Let me
sorry.
say this about the Reasonably Corrupt. It's a beautiful beer, and it's dark roasted, but it's not burnt. Thing about Shreveport, I need to go back up there. Shreveport is a weird town because it's like a Schlitz town. If you go to Shreveport, and I have honestly not noticed this anywhere else in the United States. You go to Shreveport, they got like big 18-wheelers driving around, delivery trucks with Schlitz on the side of the truck. You go to the local beer outlet, and there are Schlitz. I'm talking about regular old Schlitz, you know, Kiss of the Hops. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
12 packs, 6 packs, 40-ounce bottles, everything. They've got Schlitz malt liquor. It's like a throwback town. It's like you go to Shreveport and you think you're in 1976. And everybody over there is like, oh, yeah, everybody's drinking Schlitz. And I'm like, actually, no one else in America does what y'all do. But anyway, but it's really weird, you know. But anyway, it's a small city. It's only about 220,000 people. But it is
Closer to Dallas.
yeah, they're all Cowboys fans in Shreveport. Because
Go Cowboys.
it's only about a 3-hour drive to Dallas. So those people like dedicated to the Cowboys because they can just get on Interstate 20 and drive. They do that all the time. They'll go to Dallas overnight and they'll go to games. And in fact, some of the people in Shreveport actually have Dallas Cowboys season tickets. And so, yeah, you don't go to Shreveport and talk bad about the Cowboys. You're going to get jumped. But anyway, that's enough of that. All right. So any last comments?
Like I said, I think Miller really, I think you have to give him credit with what they're trying to do with this beer and the best and the best ice and the best lager, and of course reintroducing the classic Miller highlight theme that they're really trying to make a huge effort to say, hey folks, come back, you know, bring our, you know, come get our stuff, buy our stuff, you know. We know you love your craft beer, but you know we did our stuff is better and more decent than a craft beer. I guess that's what they're trying to, I guess, tell us.
No, they're just saying it's cheap. Hey, don't you think?
That's cheap, inexpensive. Yeah, that's right.
Don't you think they're going to have a lot more success with the High Life? I mean, that's like a big seller already. So don't you think that's going to be like a big hit?
Yeah, I think so too.
Icehouse always was sort of like a niche beer for them. Any last comments?
You guys think that? Go ahead, William.
There seems to be much more consensus with this beer than there was last week with the Milwaukee's Best Ice, which was very polarizing. So if someone wants to maybe dip their toe into an ice beer that hasn't normally tried that style, this might be one to take a leap of faith and maybe try it out. I think for what it is, it's smooth, it's well executed. So I would say give it a try.
I agree with that 100%. What's I mean, you know, what's it going to cost you? Chump change? You may as well try it. I mean, it's not going to cost you much.
It's priced.
You know, $1.11 a can, 16-ounce can. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, you're not going to beat the price on this beer. No way. And I think the quality control on this beer is really precise and ideal. You might not like this beer, but don't tell me it's garbage and that it's poorly made. I don't go along with that. It is not poorly made and it is not garbage.
No, it's not. It's not. Mm-mm. I just prefer the 5.5 compared to the 6.9. That's
Right. Yeah.
You guys think that they bumped it up to try to compete with maybe like the IPAs and maybe some stouts and porters and stuff like that, or no?
I doubt it. I can't figure it out though. I don't think the people that they're targeting are generally drinking IPAs and porters, but
right.
I can't figure it out. I don't know what the reasoning is.
I think they're trying to create a new niche that they thought it was worth the effort because they have enough beers in that 5.5 to 6% category in their portfolio that they can take care of that. So they thought it was, this might be considered like a Hail Mary pass.
Right.
But I think they thought it was worth the effort in the marketing department. So, like I said, time will tell if it's a touchdown or an interception or an incompletion. But right now, the jury's out.
AB InBev is keeping a close eye on what's going on with this.
Yeah, I think William's right. You take Icehouse, which was a beer that was probably marginally profitable, but it probably didn't make much difference to MillerCoors if it stayed around or if it died out. So they probably figured, here's a beer that's, you could probably say is languishing a little bit. Let's bump it up and see if we can get some momentum going with it.
Kickstart it, maybe.
Yeah, not to say that I think that Miller does a lot of bad things, like they just abandon a lot. I guess a lot of companies do this. There's only so many dollars you have right to advertise. So some of y'all might remember this. Some of y'all were like a year old, but back in 1993-94, when Icehouse first hit the market, it got major coverage for advertising. It was on, if you watch any sporting event, they were endless commercials for Icehouse, and it went on for about 2 years, and Icehouse was like a big time brand of beer. But then they just, for whatever reason, maybe it didn't sell as much as they thought it was going to sell. You never saw another television commercial for Icehouse after around 1995, and then it just probably slowly declined. Same thing with Red Dog. Red Dog got some major coverage, major advertising attention, and the same thing. So Red Dog is practically defunct today, but that's the best beer Miller makes, if you ask me, but you'll never see it probably.
Well,
I had Red Dog one time, and that's when I was a teenager.
I can still get Red Dog here, Ron.
What? Get me started on that.
Icehouse must be a great seller here in Tampa, because for all I've heard you guys talk about in the, kind of the tough in spots, how it was to get it. 6.9 Icehouse is everywhere here. So
it's here too, William, up here in Michigan. It is. Or Bill, sorry.
It must be selling through pretty good.
Well, my local Miller distributor said that the thing that's selling like crazy is the Milwaukee's Best Ice 6.9 in the 32-ounce cans. Those big pint cans? I mean, those quart cans. But, I mean, good grief, they're selling 2 cans for $2.50 total.
This is probably a pretty good move, considering that Budweiser has 3 high-gravity beers in the 5.5 to 5.9 category. So rather than take them on directly, try to create a new target market, a new niche. So I think, and like I said, the jury is still out, but I mean, I can see their reasoning behind this.
Right. Like you're saying, put something out there that's strong, but not super strong.
My belief is that the ones I've drank, the Anheuser-Busch high-gravity products tend to emphasize the smoothness.
Yeah.
Miller products, a little bit more the alcohol, the sweetness, the more of a robust bold flavor. So there's something for everybody.
See,
yeah, you're right.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was just going to ask. It's been a long time since I've had one. Does anybody remember what the alcohol content is in Bud Ice?
Yeah, 5.5.
5.9.
Maybe my palate has changed, but the last time that I had that, I literally had a 12-pack given to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. And I've only had that 2 times in my life, but even the second time I couldn't hardly drink it. It was just, all I could taste was the alcohol. So I don't know, maybe my palate has changed, because
that's very strange, because down here in southeastern Louisiana, Bud Ice is literally the king of ice beers. No one can touch it. I can go to convenience stores in the New Orleans area, and literally an entire shelf in the cooler is dedicated to Bud Ice. It is unreal.
The Bud Ice is 5.5. The Busch Ice is 5.9. and the Cobra malt liquor is 6.0. So they got 3 beers there perfectly targeted for that audience. So Miller sort of did an end around MillerCoors and said, let's bump it up a little bit. So they 6.9, which is sort of like selling the car for $19,999 rather than $20,000. They just right on that 7%, which might be a level that it might offend people. So, you know, everything here, there's nothing by accident.
No.
Don't forget.
That sounds good. So let's give this a shot.
Don't forget Natty Ice, also another part of that stable, 5.9 as well. So
that's
Out
right.
of all the ice beers, I like Busch Ice best. That's just me.
we had it here in Mobile briefly in the 12-ounce cans and a 6-pack, and poof, disappeared. So
that is not available in my area. It doesn't exist. Okay, last call, and this is it. We've been on here an hour, and that's long enough to talk about this beer. Any other comments that you're seeing there, Eric Brenner?
Nope. Or let me check them here real quick. Sorry. Sacred Sleeper says he needs to find it in Chicagoland where he's at.
Should be there soon enough.
And he says Red Dog is $10.99 a 30-pack in Chicago.
Holy cow.
I would buy 10 of them.
Holy cow.
I smell a road trip.
I need to make a trip to Michigan.
No, that's a joke, but I can leave. But no, he's not joking. I can leave my house at 5 in the morning in the summertime, and I can get to the White Sox Stadium in time for first pitch. That's a fact.
Wow.
And Darrell says they really pushed the quote-unquote Plank Road Brewery angle, almost like they were a microbrew.
That's right. He's right. He's right about that.
And Sacred Sleeper says, I don't know, Ron. The Platinum Taste beer, I am OP, but the best value is still Natty Ice.
I absolutely agree with that.
We can only get Bud Ice here in bottles, 12 in 6-pack bottles, 4-pack 16-ounce cans, and the 25-ounce cans.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good variety. We get Bud Ice and all kind of different varieties here. Okay.
24-pack or 30-pack, sadly.
Thanks for the comments, guys. Thanks for the comments.
Right. Hey, well, this was to me, I can only speak for myself. And after drinking this, I'm having a little trouble speaking, but
Me too, Ron.
But you know, honestly, this was an extremely interesting examination. I thought it's kind of fun to look at these different beers. You know, you look at them. 10 years from now, you might. Oh, Eric says, Eric, I can't back. I don't know what you did about blocking Jean, but I don't know how to solve that problem because he's sending me a Gmail message.
I don't know. I did nothing. All I know is that I was going to talk, and then boom.
I did nothing.
Seriously.
And I've actually never blocked anybody on this setup, so I don't know how to solve it because I've never done it. Hey, but anyway, but it's fun to look at these, and we've got some interesting things coming up over the next 6 weeks. We've got, and then we're going to close this off. We've got, well, my father had to pick it up for me. I got to get that exchange done tomorrow. $12 for the 12-pack. Trouble Brewing, Cat's Away IPA next week. And then the Trouble Brewing, maybe we'll do the Red Ale in 2 weeks. And then I have to skip a couple of weeks because of sports-related issues. We got Trouble Brewing, the third one. I think it's a pale ale, and we got the Trouble Brewing, the fourth one. What's the fourth one, Jean?
Belgian White.
Oh, the wit beer, right. So if y'all can get the Trouble Brewing.
Okay. Yeah.
What's next week, Ron?
Trouble Brewing, Cat's Away IPA.
I can't get that here.
Cat's Away IPA, you got the Red Flag, you got the...
You might think you can't get it, but you might actually be able to get it, and you just don't realize it.
I thought the same thing, and it turns out it's in every Walmart I went into in the past week.
You just have to find. You just have to look for it among the craft beer.
Yep, it's just
if you're not careful.
I've never even heard of it.
It's called a Pack of Trouble. It's a 12-pack.
You might be shocked. my father went in Walmart and he couldn't find it. He was saying, "Oh, I can't find it." So he saw these beer guys working in there, these delivery guys, and he says, "Hey, y'all ever heard of this beer called Trouble Brewing?" And they said, "Well, of course." So they pointed it out. He said, "Oh, I was standing right in front of it." So it was only $12 and some change for a 12-pack. So he's got it for me, and I'm gonna get it tomorrow when I go up there for that college basketball doubleheader. So anyway, and one more thing, Jean.
Yes.
You know we got that little wine thing to take care of.
With the, if I can get Parmesan, I know we did the Pisano already, so if we can do something.
Well, I'm gonna talk to you off air about these little Walmart generic little things. You know what I'm talking about? All right.
Right.
All right. And then we'll do something.
Label wines, the white label wines, Ronald? Or are those the yellow and black label?
Now, Bill, this is not 1979. All right. Thank you, people.
Good evening, everyone.
Had a lot of fun.